say that the future of South Africa is in good hands. Good evening, future shapers of South African built environment. So, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for not giving me a guide as to what I need to talk about, because it was really going to kill me. I want us to do an exercise before I start. I just want us to close our eyes. 3 seconds. Your childhood house and the district where you used to play. Picture the route that you used to take to school, the view from the window, and now open your eyes. This is what we are really discussing tonight, not policies, not law, but the fundamental truth that land determines the architecture of our lives. Space is not neutral, it is political, and it's racialized. Oh, my name is Nozi. But for the past 3 years that have been in Ndifuna Ukwazi, I've witnessed how apartheid and its apartheid spatial ghost still haunt us even today. From the mother who wakes up and leaves the house at 4 a.m. to go and clean a house in Sea Point, to a student who sleeps in a hijacked building because your city doesn't have enough residents. So tonight, we confront 3 urgent questions. How did land become the most potent instrument of inequality? How does expropriation terrify the powerful so much? And what revolutionary roles that you as students can play in changing what is happening right now? Why is apartheid blueprint still so prevalent in South Africa? It's because Group Areas Act isn't just segregation. It's engineered poverty with mathematical precisions. Consider this. It's 2025 this year. Cape Town's property values are still following the apartheid's redlining. A house in Bishopscourt cost 30 times the same size of land in Gugulethu. One will ask why. It's white lives versus black lives. In Johannesburg, mining belt was deliberately placed black townships in the downwind of toxic dust. That was deliberate. That was not, it was engineered to be like that. Durban beachfront was allocated by race, creating generational wealth for some while locking out others. So that is the reality. That is what happened. But that's history. Some are saying that. Then why does today a black household uses 42% of their salary on transport compared to the 12% of white households? Why do we still have informal settlements 31 years after democracy? The honest truth is that we have never undertaken tasks to decolonize land. We just rebranded it to property market. If I'm going to come to talk about expropriation, I want to put a topic on expropriation. exposing the great land lie. That is my topic. They tell us expropriation will bring chaos. Look at Cape Town right now. 1,257 hectares of well-located public land sits vacant. That land is enough for 85,000 affordable housing. Right now, 63% of land claims of 1994 remain unresolved. Right now, or the previous year, even today, 1.2 billion rands is spent protecting unused buildings from illegal occupation. So, if we're saying expropriation is wrong, tell me, why is this thing still happening? They tell us that expropriation is unconstitutional. But Section 25 already allows expropriation. We're simply debating whether to pay for stolen land or not. That is what we're debating. In South Africa or elsewhere in the colonized world, the unjust wars of colonization solidified and eventually ensured the right of conquest is also constitutionalized. We cannot still be focusing on a redistribution of 13% of public land, while knowing very well that 87% remains in the hands of minority. Whether that land is still land or is property, I really don't care. Right now, at this moment, both utilized and unutilized public property is being privatized under the auspices of including the public good, right? It's being auctioned as we speak. All the vacant properties are being auctioned. What does that mean? That is privatizing land, privatizing what is public. When do we tap on private land? Why are we looking at the 13% while there is private land that we can also tap in? It's not for me to tell a whole land reform department how to tap into private land. They are there to figure that out. I want us to be clear when we're talking about this. The fear is not the policy or the act. The fear is losing power, because that is exactly what is going to happen. When a daughter of Langa Township shopkeeper can finally open business in the CBD, or when students can afford to live near campus, that is when where truly inclusive economy actually begins. Our economy, not the economy that we're given. The wealth of the elite is currently vested in urban real estate. And that is why urban land reform is a foreign concept. We're even worried, we don't even want to talk about that, because that is where the urban real estate wealth is sitting. How do we redesign the future? There are already lessons out there. We need to look. Communities from below are actually doing this thing that we're still questioning. Philip horticulture area, farmers resisted rezoning there. because that was going to destroy the Cape Town basket. So what I'm saying is land is not only for residential, land is for agriculture as well. Bed building program in Joburg, converting 74 abandoned properties into a mixed income housing. This is showing how expropriation can revive urban areas. Let's talk about Cape Town. In Ndifuna Ukwazi, we recently had used an old law to challenge the government into giving access to people to land. We've used a law called State Land Disposal Act to apply for vacant pieces of land, because our government doesn't know what they are doing. They are in the process of giving us those land. Is that not expropriation? We're already doing this thing. We're taking land off speculative market and ensuring intergenerational affordability. These aren't activists demanding handouts. We are not demanding handouts. We are urban designers creating smart cities. I know if there are urban planners in the house and now questioning what is a smart city. It's me. I'm defining a smart city the way I want to define it, because I cannot turn a blind eye on what informal settlement is doing, is the role of informal settlements in Cape Town. So my smart city will be a city where people have a security of time. Before I sit down, I know I was given a lot of time. Before I sit down, let me give an advice to the future practitioners. You stand in a moral crossroad. Will you be complicit in valuing land only as an asset class? Or will you be designing gated estates while ignoring housing crisis? Or will you be collaborators in justice? Will you be using your skills to make public land for redistribution, or design transit-oriented social housing, or advise municipality on inclusionary zoning? I challenge you tonight to make one radical commitment that no project in your portfolio will deepen spatial apartheid. That will measure success not in square meters sold, but in lives unlocked. I leave you with a word from a woman that I met in Cecil Pool House in Woodstock, in the occupied hospital in Woodstock. She said, I vote. They call us illegal, but we're just claiming what was always meant to be ours. My grandchildren will know what it's like to live where the lights are bright. Close quote. You hold pens that will rewrite our city plans. The calculators that can value people over profit. The voices that can say to power, this land is already taken by justice. Thank you.